Hello and welcome back to Rain or Shine Farm. I'm Camille Saunders. I live on about 26 acres in a wetland in Southwest Washington state. I have ducks and chickens, a garden, and lots of other space right now. So welcome back and join us on the farm today. Thanks so much for being here. Today I'm going to be talking about showing you some more fall seeds that I started, the progress since last video. So take a look at the last two videos where I did talking about fall seed starting and then started seeds last week with you all. Most everything is sprouting, so I have that to show you. And then we do just a general kind of garden tour at dusk. So you can see how things are progressing. The sunflowers are popping, starting to open. Our pumpkins are going. The ducks are happy. All is going well. So I hope you enjoy. And I'll see you next week. Welcome to the fall seeds that are actually mostly popping up. I need to water them a bit more. They're getting a little dry on the top. So I'm probably going to spritz them. And then I will also water the bottom in the bottom part of the tray. This is my cool spray bottle here. Pump it. And just gonna spray the whole top of all the seeds. Just because before they're sprouting, the bottom part is really only for when they have roots to be able to drink them underneath. So that's not really going to do anything for these ones that haven't come up yet. So they're all soaked now. Okay. And then I will go fill my watering can to do the bottom part. All right. Well, it is dusk here and the moon is out. And our grass is mostly dead, or at least the lawn part of it. The chickens are back over here. I actually did move them to help me turn my potato bed, so I'll show you some pictures at the end of the video of that. I just had them over there for one day. We did more progress on the fence. So you can see we're definitely getting into the dry part of the summer here. So we nearly got this gate done. Sean's finishing doing the bolts up there. Just make sure the frame is good, but we got it hung. My dad was here over the weekend to help. The ducks just got their treats. I'm starting to give them treats every evening and a little bit of soaked food because once the fence is all done, so yeah, we got the gate in here and then this panel done. So another, 10, 15 feet of fencing done. So yeah, once that's done, I am going to start letting them into the garden area. I'll probably just use one of our chicken electric fences at first. I probably will not electrify it, but just to make this whole area a little bit smaller so that they don't go everywhere and they stay closer to home. But yeah, so these doors here, I'll prop it open so that they can go back in if they get freaked out or anything. But I'll probably start taking away their food bucket during the day. And they'll still have lots of water and everything, and they'll have grass and, hi guys, other stuff to eat. And then at night, to get them to go back in, to convince them, I will be giving them treats and or soaked food in their bowl. And I'll bring the bucket back in so that they can have it until I let them out the next day. And we'll only do this when we're here, like at home on the property, to observe and make sure that hopefully they're okay. And like I said, I probably will have them have like an interior fence for a little bit just because this area is fairly large. And, if they're all the way over here and something comes for them, they're going to have a long ways to go. So I want them to learn where they're, stay close to home, where their house is. But everything's looking very nice. My sunflowers actually opened 3 or 4 of them yesterday. None had opened previously, so I have a nice yellow one there, although it's got a little red tint to it. The red ones are actually my favorite, pretty much, so I have a lot of those seeds. So here are the other ones, and look, they have 2 different kind of red colors there. So they just opened. They're about as tall as me right now. I'm 5'7". And you can see the purple stalks. I kind of knew that these ones would be red because they have more of the purpling. But yeah, I have a lot more sunflowers to go. It's exciting. Those opened up. It was very overcast yesterday, so it was kind of funny that they opened up yesterday, but I guess they were all ready. Yeah, the pumpkins are coming along. The beans are doing great. They've made it all the way to the top, like I showed before. I had the neighbor kids over last week and showed them that for these beans, they are called Brauhilde beans. They're a purple bean. So when they're young, so this one's quite small. It's like, about as long as my finger. You can eat them whole, like a green bean you would. So you could eat it raw, or you could saute it a little bit. And then as they get bigger, like this, you can see they're starting to develop the beans themselves. So I'll let them dry on the plant. Usually we get rain here in the fall, so it kind of depends, but ideally you let them dry on the plant, and then you crack them open once they're all dry, and then you have white beans for eating in the wintertime. So I like pole beans for this reason, which just means these are beans that grow up a pole. Bush beans are the other type. Bush beans were basically cultivated so that machines could harvest them. Got some kind of zucchini or something going here. It's interesting. I don't know what this is going to be, but it's kind of elongated, so I don't think it's going to be a pumpkin. I'll have to look at yeah, this is the bean type. I grew them the first year in 2020 of my garden, and I've been growing them ever since. I really love them. So they have these beautiful purple leaves. They have purple flowers. You can kind of see here. I know our light is fading, but yeah, so I like scarlet runner beans. These are also the runners, again, kind of the pole variety. So just that type of bean that goes up. I like them. They're pretty, but I personally don't really like eating them. To me, they're more like eating like a lima bean. They're a lot like starchier. So I like these for eating. They're like a white bean when they're dried. Let's look at these sunflowers. See if any of them are popping yet. Not quite. This one's close, but I can't quite tell yet. It's got a little purple veining here, but not the stalk. Whereas this one's got a lot more purple on it. So this one's probably going to be a redder variety. So sunflowers do breed pretty, like each season. So you can start to mix your varieties. And I got so I have red sunflower seeds, and then I have a Van Gogh mix or fantasy from Sunflower Steve. He does a lot of breeding of sunflowers in the Midwest, I believe. His seeds are expensive to get, but they're very cool. So even if you only do it once, sunflowers are really easy to save seed from, and they get so many seeds. So basically I save a sunflower seed mix every year of just a couple heads of different ones I like. And then I just regrow more the next year, and they will start to, oh, look at this guy. Got a little grasshopper. There we go. Hey, bud. You can stay there. I won't bother you. There definitely are spiders and stuff that love to hang out like underneath the leaves of the sunflowers. So you've been warned. I was just talking to my friends today, but I'm like, oh, spider season has started for us. They're definitely around. It's dry out now. We're finally we're like 6 weeks into our summer finally in the Pacific Northwest. So I have chickpeas over here. That's these guys. They're a little brown looking right now, so I did mulch everything, and they are getting, beans on them, but these are bush beans, so they're only, maybe, I don't know, 6 inches tall or something. I spaced them, I don't know, 6 inches apart in kind of a grid, and they individually produce. These ones, that's how chickpeas are. If you do black beans or like green beans that are a bush variety, they'll produce pods, and then you again, let the pods dry on the plant and then take them off and you can shell them for seeds or beans. Got my flowers are all looking lovely. The fennel's finally flowering, which I love these flowers. And they bring in a lot of the other kind of pollinators, wasps and such, that like the flat flower. Let's see here. You can kind of tell how flat it is, like dill or cumin. They all kind of grow. Queen Anne's lace, carrot. Actually, if you let carrot go to seed, the flowers will look like this. Usually they're white, but let's see here. There we go. You can kind of tell. But anyway. So this is looking okay. That's an interesting flower to see over there. Okay, look. Oh, this one's starting to open. It's getting a tuft of green. So my calendula is pretty happy here. So it's starting to go to seed. So this is the flowers have died back. So here's one here. So that's the flower that died, and then I'll pop this off. And these are the seeds. So this little thing right here is one of the seeds. So they have pretty big seeds. I'm just gonna sprinkle them back in and hope they reseed. The dahlia is looking quite happy. I mean, there's no blooms yet on that one, but hopefully. And then actually my tomatoes, my big old slicer ones, are starting to blush. That's what they call this when they start turning red. So that's very exciting. So got some marigolds. These are all carrots here. I should really come through and thin these. They're all still pretty small, but usually for me, carrots are more of a fall crop. But yeah, all these big slicers are starting to turn now. So once they start ripening like that, you can take them off the vine and bring them in, especially if you're going to get a lot of rain. We're pretty dry and hot this week. You can tell the birds have been over here. They love these cattle panels. So for my friend Anna that I was talking about, so these are cattle panels. They're 16 feet long. So this is 2 of them. And then I have 2 here. And then they're pretty rigid. So I could do it by myself, which is a bit, you don't need to. But if you put the T-post in the ground, which is this thing, because it has a T at the bottom, you buy a post pounder to pound it in. If you don't have one, it makes a loud metal noise, because these are made for like fencing. And then I just zip tie them here. But yeah, I stretch it, or I guess I fold it in half. Basically, or actually what I do when I do it by myself, I put a T-post here, I put a T-post here. I go grab the whole panel, which is straight at the time, 16 feet long. So yeah, like this. So 2 squares here, and then at one end they're smaller. So these are technically like for cattle. So they're also hog panels. They're just shorter. So these are cattle panels, 16 feet long, 4 feet tall. And then, yeah, I take it and I put one side down like this, and then I grab the other side and I like walk it back towards the other one and rigidly shove it here. And honestly, you don't really need the zip ties. It'll stay just from the post, but I do them just to kind of like, I just do one, I think, on these, just to like hold it and have it be straight up and down. But yeah, that's what I like. They're very versatile. I take them down sometimes at the end of the season if I want a more like clean visual for winter, because I don't really grow anything on them in the winter. You could, if you have any vining perennial things. But yeah, I really like vertical gardening here. Here we're still pretty humid in the summer, or like at night we get a lot of dew, and so we get powdery mildew easily, which is like white spots often on like zucchini plants, pumpkin, any squash, peas often get them too. And it just, the leaves start to, it's like it gets a fungus. So eventually the leaves start to die back. But yeah, all of those are looking pretty good. I mean, my plants, I would say, are not super happy. These are probably the worst looking tomato plants personally I've ever had. But right now I'm overhead watering, so they don't really like that. They don't like getting their leaves wet. They don't like splashback. The mulch will help with that, but basically I'm picking off the dead sections. And then the deer still have been chomping a bit, so that's definitely not helping. But you know, I still have some nice big tomatoes, and probably once all these start blushing, I'll probably take them off. Especially because if I'm out of town or anything, the animals just come up a little bit more strongly when we're not here as much or outside as much. So I'll probably take them all off, and then I'll probably try to feed the tomatoes again. And hopefully by that time we'll have finished more of the fencing, and so the deer will not be able to get in here. Oh yeah, my light's definitely fading now. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, my basil's going. It's pretty small, but I have a lot of it. So I got a little eggplant here. My pansies are coming back. And then I have a ton of the kind of like sun gold style cherry tomatoes. All these yellow ones are ripe. So they're pretty sweet to just have. And then, like I said, I'll show you pictures, but these were my potato beds. They are. I dug out all the potatoes Thursday out of all this bed and all that ones. That bed had the all blue, that's the name, and these were yellow fin. So kind of like a Yukon Gold style, like a yellow potato. So I dug them all out, but inevitably there's little tiny potatoes left, and sometimes bigger ones, because, you know, I don't upend all the soil. So Thursday night, we put the chickens close to their door for their coop at night. And then we moved their fence over here. So it included both of these beds, and then we put their little house over here, just in the grass. So they had access to this space for one day. We have 4 chickens, adult chickens. And they love when I dig potatoes because there's bugs. They love the like very dry soil that we have right now for the potatoes. So I did my best, and then I let them through, and they will not eat the potatoes. They may sample, but they don't like them. I mean, most things don't like potatoes unless they're cooked. So, I mean, I don't think I would either. So I used to do it in my old garden, invite them over when I was either working on potatoes or done. And so I let them come dig in. And so you can see there's like holes. They love to make little like craters, which is just, they like to bathe in the dirt, basically. I'm going to shove these potatoes back in, because any little part of potato plant or those tiny little ones, they're like marble sized, could be a future potato for you. So I usually just let those stay. They dug out some, I think about 4 or 5 decent size, you know, ones out of both of these beds, which was no work for me except for moving their fence. And then my dad was coming over the next day to do the fencing stuff, so we were going to be in the way, or they were going to be in the way for doing the fencing. So that night I closed their door again. When it was like this time of night, it was just like dusk. It's pretty nice out right now though, even though it's getting dark. got a little breeze. Yeah, so we put them away. We move their fence back to the backyard. We put them back in there. We roll their house. It's the Justin Rhodes mini Chickpea. He has plans online if you want to find it. I'm pretty sure I've shown it before. But if not, I'll put a picture on the screen right now. But yeah, so these are the beds. They're done with them. So I just need to rake them flat again. And then when my fall seeds are ready inside that I showed you at the beginning of the video, I'll plant them out in here. And then perhaps even elsewhere, because these chickpeas I don't think they're going to make it that much longer. We'll see. They might do a little better if it starts to rain a bit, but we got a little bit of rain Friday night. And then I think last night as well. But yeah, we're definitely losing the light now. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show you a garden update, talk about fall seed starting. So there's still time, at least where I live. Our frost date's not usually till at the earliest. Oh, look, it's getting orange on the top. Mid-November. I mean, October, sometimes mid-November, but earliest is mid-October. So right now we're still mid-August, so you still got 2 months, even where I live. Sunflower. Okay. Well, that is it for now. I'll show you some pictures of other stuff that I talked about today. I know I have some pictures of the seedlings as they were going. I have some pictures of the chickens in the beds when they were working hard. So I do like trying to use my livestock, my birds right now when I can. I'm excited to be able to bring the ducks into the garden, especially when we have perennial stuff in here that will be a little more, for us in the summer it's dry, whereas the whole entire winter is wet. And by winter, I mean fall, winter, and spring is wet. And so, for the most part, that's when we have slugs. So the ducks love eating slugs and they're really good at finding them. They'll eat other bugs too, but they love a slug. And so, yeah, we'll probably turn this part of the garden into like a little orchard, have some tree cover for them for when they come out, encourage them out a bit further. I know I want to have blueberries down here closer to the fence line because it gets pretty wet, and blueberries for the most part like a bit wetter soil. I'll probably have to amend it a bit to make it acidic, which is what they like. And then on this side, there's still a bit of like a TBD. I know I want a gazebo. Here we're gonna have like a driveway gate, so we can unload materials here. So this will stay kind of open for that. So we can open the gate, have a dump truck dump in, and then like close it if we wanted, and have the materials stay in here and the ducks stay in here. But there's still a good bit of space here, like, I don't know, 40 or 50 feet probably. So I might do some trees along the fence line here. You can barely see the fence right now, but those are the poles along our driveway. Should be nice. Add a little more shade. Maybe some like nut trees or something. And then, the other thing I want to do is have some more in-ground space for things like potatoes, which stay in the ground longer, then you have to dig them up. Like, you basically can't really do a no-dig style for potatoes. I guess you can with straw. Some people do that, but yeah. So I've drawn a lot of garden maps, but still gonna start once the garden's fully fenced in. I'll feel good about planting perennials in here because I know the deer will not be eating my precious, more expensive plants. So I'll plant those stuff in the fall. Once the fence done, it starts raining for us because then I don't have to water them. And they'll get a good rain all winter. We don't get super cold, so generally things live, like trees and berries and stuff. Yeah, I definitely want to have a bunch of raspberries. I used to have 16 feet of raspberries. I want more, so probably some of that down here, excuse me. And then, yeah, I guess, let me know if there's anything else I should plant, but I'm gonna turn off the video for now because there's not a whole lot more to see, although we do get a nice little sunset over here, over the duck area. That's west for us, so the sun is fading, and it is where I am 8:40 p.m. So we're still in kind of the summer, it's still light, pretty late mode. I think right now our sunrise is at 6:15 a.m. and maybe sets at like 8:30, 8:15. Usually the sunset time officially is like before it's fully dark. So I think like right now the sun has already set. We can't see it, so we just have the radiant light left. Yeah, but that's it for now. I will see you all next week. Goodbye.